Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Soin and ReMinD, taking place here on Concealed Hill. Let's go ahead and break things down here. Soin spawning as the blue orc on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, ReMinD spawning as the yellow night elf on the bottom left. Orc versus Night Elf, gonna be a great game once more, as I'm trying to figure out and being able to predict what's gonna happen. Yeah, the meta changing significantly, that's great. Also, being able to forecast and determine with my eyes who actually has an advantage in the battle, as my eyes need to get my brain needs to get readjusted to what counters what. Orc versus Night Elf. Raiders no longer dealing siege damage to unarmored huntresses. That does change things drastically, as the raiders are no longer going to be nearly as effective against those huntresses, while the huntresses themselves, that little glaive bounce damage didn't do much, but that change in armor has really changed the landscape. We are going to be looking at a hero come out from ReMinD, and it will be the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove, no big surprise there. A great hero, able to get in a lot of tempo play. And then perhaps at level 3, the second hero comes out, and the Keeper of the Grove is just there to try and harass or perhaps take an expansion. Really a tempo-based play there as a follow-up level 3 hero. Well, pretty much definitely in the cards if you do go for a Keeper of the Grove first. Wisp now going to be making his way out across the map, try to do a bit of scouting, figure out what is going on in this matchup as the Ancient of War. Well, as always, aggroes the creeps here, and now the Keeper of the Grove should be popping on out. And this game, well, will officially begin as those heroes try to gain experience and, well, deal some damage or get some very powerful items. Blade Master going straight after this forest troll. A warrior creep camp. There is going to be a quick attack again. No ensnare. Alright, so I don't know if this was the case, but I believe Soin had purposely creeped in that unusual way to avoid the ensnare from the Forest Troll Trapper. By avoiding the ensnare from the Forest Troll Trapper, the Grunt is able to engage throughout the entire battle, as opposed to trying to pull and aggro that away. I think that's the first time I've seen that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if I've missed something or if there is something a little bit else, as a Mantle of Intelligence +3 now picked up for the Keeper of the Grove. That's going to be a little bit of bonus damage on top of the faster attack speed now of that Keeper of the Grove. Perhaps that damage will eventually all add up as the Blade Master uses a healing salve. And, well, it has to be a little bit careful. Low on mana, did Windwalk, and is now Windwalking all the way across on the other side. The Windwalk is going to come to an end, and he was never able to use that Windwalk strike. Keeper of the Grove now going after this Kobold Geomancer creep camp. Blade Master is still looking for ReMinD's Keeper of the Grove. Hasn't been able to find him, as the Keeper of the Grove now perhaps going to go after this Kobold Tunneler. Blade Master gives up the chase of hunting for that Keeper of the Grove, and instead opting to go after this Crab Limb Ripper. Alright, as we mentioned earlier, Keeper of the Grove getting to level 3, always a big deal. We're going to see some damage go down onto that Blade Master. Blade Master taking quite a few hits. Keeper of the Grove perhaps going to buy a dust of appearance, try and reveal that Blade Master right there. But the Blade Master just going to be healing up at this Fountain of Health. That's exactly what the Blade Master wants to do. And now the Keeper of the Grove just shy of level 3. Blade Master gets that Windwalk strike, gets to level 2, and now backs away again. That annoying Blade Master. If you've ever been on the receiving end of those tactics, the Keeper of the Grove just wanted to get to level 3, but the Blade Master said, no, not today. Now, with this, more Treants gonna get summoned. Keeper of the Grove trying to go after this Mud Golem creep camp. and with that, perhaps deny experience from the Shadow Hunter, which should be, well, starting to be trained here in just a moment. All right, Treants going straight after these targets. You see that little bit of glaive bounce damage is hitting that Forest Troll Trapper, and that is with that additional +5 armor. So that damage is not negligible. It does add up, and it does definitely help out, as we're going to see some more damage come across here. Blade Master not nearby, hence, but the Dust of Appearance. ReMinD forced to use that Dust of Appearance as the Keeper of the Grove does get to level 3. All right, there is a little Owl Scout sentry right there to keep track of the Blade Master. Are we getting that glaive upgrade yet? No, we are not. No glaive upgrade as of yet. We are waiting to get the tier 2 Tree of Ages, and now that Ancient of War could try and get that there, as we do see, well, another peon getting cleaned up. All right, that sentry is available, but the Blade Master, it was still getting spotted out here. There's a little bit of damage. Shadow Hunter now back out. A quick Hex, and wow, ReMinD showed up at exactly the wrong time as the Keeper of the Grove trying to get away. Quickly using that Scroll of Town Portal to minimize those losses. A little bit of glaive damage on that Shadow Hunter, as the Shadow Hunter, well, wants to do some creeping by itself. Keeper of the Grove on the move. You can see Huntresses there. We are going into straight dual Ancients of Lore. The Ancient of War in position. Going to try and perhaps go after this location here. We do see another Owl Sentry, or the Sentry there, giving a little bit of sight. Treants now making their way over, perhaps going to go after that Force of Nature, as the Demon Hunter is coming online at level 3. Oh, Demon Hunter coming online, but the Blade Master is nearby. What's going to happen? Perhaps a mana burn. There's a mana burn on that Blade Master. Blade Master now trying to retreat back. Who's going to get that Manual of Health? But the Owl providing sight makes it so that ReMinD is able to pressure that Blade Master back. This is going to be a bit of an issue as the Demon Hunter gets to level 2 already. Keeper of the Grove going to continue to try and aggro more creeps. Again, is the Ancient of War going to be able to make its way over there? It may take a little bit of time. Ogre Lord getting in position, and I would have thought that the Ogre Lord could have perhaps been led into here and then entangled and then surrounded. That's often a strategy. Nope. 3 units surround next to the tavern instead. Still plenty of damage here. There's a quick mana burn as the Demon Hunter does pick up a Helm of Valor. Strength and agility on that Demon Hunter. That Demon Hunter +5 strength, an additional 125 hit points, +5 agility, an additional +5, 1.5 armor, +5 damage. And, well, and slightly faster attack speed to boot. So this Demon Hunter really going to be making some strong plays here and a little bit later as it tries to get to level 3. Keeper of the Grove. Oh, is it going to accidentally take away too much experience? That's going to be the question. Yes, Demon Hunter does not get the level 3. There goes an Entangle. There's a Purge now. Shaman, Serpent Wards are down. The Huntresses do not have the heavy armor, so we're going to see, oh, a beautiful Staff of Preservation. We're going to see the Raiders and the Serpent Wards dealing full damage. Ancient of War off over here. It's going to purposely root itself now, take reduced damage from that Blade Master and those Shaman, but take some bonus damage from that Raider. All right. Shadow Hunter sitting at 2.5. Demon Hunter sitting at 2.9. The next level ups are going to be key and trying to find the right opportunity to do exactly that. Raider is going to perhaps ensnare down this Red Drake, prevent it from being able to retreat back easily. We see a couple of Headhunters also doing quite a bit of poking as well as that Red Drake, well, heads back up into the sky. Scourge Bone Chimes, Blade Master now going to be able to regenerate some hit points even while just auto-attacking as damage racking up here. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter does get to level 3. Keeper of the Grove staying strong at level 3. We are looking at single Orb of Venom on the Demon Hunter, as the Demon Hunter wants to apply that damage over time effectively. All right, Huntresses, Keeper of the Grove, Druid of the Claw with Adept training. The Blade Master still wandering around across here. We do not see the improved glaives, and we are at Tree of Eternity. We do not see a second hero, and we are getting the Mastery training now for those Druids of the Claw. All right, Blade Master, there's a Staff of Preservation again. There's going to be a quick roar. There's Mastery training, and here we are. Here we go. Entangle quickly on, or ensnare onto that Keeper of the Grove. purge now as well. More heals, more purges, removing the rejuvenation as the Keeper of the Grove of ReMinD forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal pretty much immediately. We can see a new Druid of the Claw back, I believe, in Druid form, gonna give a rejuvenation to that Keeper of the Grove. That Keeper of the Grove, I believe, used two, if not three rejuvenations in that previous fight. But Soin, so on top of that Dispel with that Purge, in addition to landing a couple of ensnares, forcing that Keeper of the Grove to try and retreat back out. Now, as Soin is setting up a Great Hall here, there is an Ancient Protector trying to be built right next to it, and that could perhaps be a problem. Kodo Beast, well, digesting a Huntress. Quick Hex onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is going to have a very bad day. Going to try to fight back the other way. There's another Hex. More damage racking up. Potion of Greater Healing still on that Demon Hunter. He's down to 200 hit points. Forced to use that Potion of Greater Healing, but no time to drop and pick up that Helm of Valor for a little bit more bonus damage. Huntress going to get taken out. Scroll of Healing keeping the Raider alive, at least for now, but it gets taken out as well. So both sides just exchanging blows as the Kodo Beast also digesting a full-on Druid of the Claw. All right. This Kodo Beast is going to be finished digesting here in just a second. It wants to eat another meal if possible. Meanwhile, the other has a long digestion going for that one Druid of the Claw. Meanwhile, Ancient Protector, well, was beating down on this Great Hall. Great Hall now down to 100, or, well, down to 900 some odd hit points. Repairs could be getting underway here. Where is the rest of the units? And we see ReMinD forced to try and regenerate hit points at this Fountain of Health. 46 supply compared to Soin's 52. The Ancient Protector going to be easily taken out here. Kodo Beast making their way back over. Perhaps the Ancient Protector could do bonus damage off against the Kodo Beast instead, but the Ancient Protector still falls. All right, 54 supply compared to 50. Soin currently mining, getting 14 gold a second over ReMind's 10 gold a second. That does add up over time. But, well, 2 bases versus 1, and the army sizes are still very, very close. Soin, does he have a Goblin Shredder? No, only 1 peon on lumber. Everything else is on gold. So Soin had banked up a fair amount of lumber in order for this to work out this way. All right. 46 supply army compared to 40. Are we going to be going into an engagement here, trying to get some damage onto those units? Blade Master gets up to level 4 off of the purges on these treants, and here we are. Serpent Ward's level 2 variety with decent damage and just able to constantly poke. Kodo Beast currently, well, still digesting. A Kodo Beast eating up another bear here, and perhaps this Kodo Beast can back away. All right, Demon Hunter trying to dive in after this unit. There goes another hungry Kodo. So there are there were 5 bears on the battlefield, but 3 of them are in the belly of the beast. So they're going to be forced to back up again as we see the Dryads getting cleaned up. 58 supply compared to 36. A Druid of the Claw does make its way back out onto the battlefield. That is a huge, huge return as the Kodo Beast are still trying to finish off more of these Druids of the Claw. There's a Staff of Preservation for the save. Blade Master trying to retreat back out. Does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Both sides are fighting. Treants are now making their way over. Shamans do not have enough to really purge down now as a Druid of the Claw going to get taken out as well. Kodo Beast still slowly digesting, bringing them out of the battle. That is 8 supply gone. So from a 30 supply army down to 22. All right, big reversal of fortune. That Kodo Beast gonna lose that Druid of the Claw, giving level 4 now to the Demon Hunter, and now perhaps gonna try to go after a little bit further. More damage over time onto that Grunt. That Grunt is gonna be in the low teens, I believe. Well, nope, back up to 54 hit points as we're looking at the peons getting cleaned up here. All right, so Druid of the Claw, Demon Hunter, Keeper of the Grove going straight after the units here. Gonna go after the Blade Master. Blade Master, well, does have an Invul Potion. Keeper of the Grove also uses his Invul Potion. Both of them trying to keep units alive. Demon Hunter could have a very, very bad day here. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation for the save there? The Hex onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter teleports back. He's going to be able to rejuvenate. Are we going to see the... Well, nope. There's a Hex onto the Keeper of the Grove. And with that Hex No Scroll of Town Portal, and because of that, well, a bad day. Keeper of the Grove is gone, but the Demon Hunter are back, ready for more action. Blade Master gets up to level 5. We're looking at one Kodo Beast still digesting here. 35 supply over 50 compared to 44 as a new Druid of the Claw back out. The Great Hall is going to end up falling. That is incredibly important to try and take it down, as this Druid of the Claw does go into beast mode and, well, finishes off that gold mine. 39 over 50, 42 over 50. ReMinD doing a good job of keeping Soin in check, not letting him hold on to that economic advantage. Meanwhile, ReMinD is still at tier 3, while Soin is at tier 2. So losing one round of losing that expansion is a very big deal indeed. As well, Soin is still forced to try and battle up against a technically superior army at tier 3. All right, Red Drake gonna get finished off here. Soin may be able to just abuse these fountains of health and the high hit point values of the orc units, as the Kodo Beasts are revealing the positioning of Soin's army. Remember, the Druids of the Claw are revealing all of this right here. Ogre Magi getting taken down. Tome of Agility +2. Blade Master up to, what, 74 damage per auto attack before even adding in critical strike. All right, that 268 critical strike right there, that is level 3 critical strike there. Seeing north of 250 critical strikes is absolutely scary, as the Blade Master has +13 damage even before that Kodo Beast Warsong Battle Drums advantage. Meanwhile, down to the south here, Demon Hunter looking to clear up the Null Overseer. Demon Hunter should be able to do exactly that. Will not get to level 5. Does pick up, or should be able to pick up, this Pure Up of Vitality. Meanwhile, the Keeper of the Grove gonna be coming its way over. Is it gonna be revealed? No, it is not. No Sentinels currently out and about. Kodo Beasts have, well, plenty of room in the belly. Soin perhaps ready to play another game of hungry Kodos, as those Kodos look to back away. Great Hall being established. 46 supply compared to 55. Soin is in low upkeep. 7 gold a second versus 10. So a slight economic advantage for ReMinD. Meanwhile, ReMinD also having slightly more items. So as the hero level does, however, favor Soin dramatically. Dual level 5 heroes. Level 3 Serpent Wards, we know how powerful those can be. And level 3 Critical Strike, we've seen some high burst damage too. As both sides taking a little bit of respite, taking a little bit of a breather. How is this going to unfold? Demon Hunter +21 damage. That roar giving a very big damage bonus indeed. +25%. Meanwhile, Shadow Hunter getting large amounts of mana, which in and of itself is also very scary. Soin hoping to just sit back and relax, defend, get the economic advantage, and be able to make a play here, as those Serpent Wards with 46 to 50 damage are great against these Dryads. And even though they're, the Druids of the Claw have, well, heavy armor, well, 50 damage is still quite a lot. Average attack speed, multiple Serpent Wards currently down. Yeah, volley of attacks from those average attack speed Serpent Wards. North of, what, 100 or 180 damage here, as the Shadow Hunter is just, well, sitting back and being able to relax now. Main bases, the gold mines, have about a little bit more than 2 minutes of mining left, and that is it. What is the Blade Master doing? He's checking to make sure there are no expansions anywhere else, and gonna get, well, a battle ready in just a moment. Force of Nature quickly taken down. There it goes. We are still only at Stronghold, not going to Fortress. Blade Master gonna, well, get an additional +4 damage, I think. So an additional +4 damage, 17 maybe +18 damage overall, as the Blade Master still running laps here. All right, ReMinD sitting, getting a resistant skin, and then perhaps is going to build up a second mountain giant the instant the resistant skin is done. So he's getting every bit of gold out of this gold mine that he can before breaking into low upkeep. All right, going to be waiting for it, waiting for it. There it is. Now he is going to... Nope, there he is. Now he's at low, and then he builds that second mountain giant. So timing on that was absolutely perfect. May also try and train up 2 dryads to finish off, to finish things up here, as we see an entangle and more damage onto that Blade Master. Blade Master down to 480 hit points, dust of appearance, but the Windwalking Blade Master able to get away again. All right, Great Hall. Mining. Soin just wants to defend this location. He's going to be able to place down a fair number of serpent wards too, and that is going to act as very powerful, dissuasion towards getting this Great Hall attacked. Meanwhile, the main base itself does have plenty of orc burrows to try and hide in. 68 over 72 doesn't have the spiked barricades though, so the Druids of the Claw could dive in, and doesn't have the reinforced defenses, so the Dryads piercing damage would deal full damage as well. Shadowhunter north of 300 mana, still using up a clarity potion. We're seeing a Voodoo Lounge being reinforced here. And are we going to see another Serpent Ward? Yes, we are. There's just a decent number of Serpent Wards constantly placed down to try and, dissuade ReMinD from pushing in. There's those 2 additional Dryads that we were mentioning earlier. 77 supply over 80 compared to Soin 72. 59 supply army compared to ReMinD 67. And here we are, these Serpent Wards. How much are they going to represent? A lot of piercing damage and rejuvenation. Those Serpent Wards aren't going to be dealing nearly as much. Blade Master trying to hold off here as the Kodo Beast. Are they going to be able to chomp onto anything? That is the real question. They need to be chomping on some Druids of the Claw in order to win out this battle. 68 supply compared to 77. There is one Kodo Beast eating, another Kodo Beast eating. 8 supplies suddenly gone, and we're still seeing some taunts here. Mountain Giant, oh, this Kodo Beast wants to back away. Level 5 now on the Demon Hunter. Mana burn onto the Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter of Soin able to stay alive ever so barely. Gets the healing wave off just in time as the Shadowhunter now down to 429 hit points after the potion of greater healing. Both sides still fighting. 59 supply compared to 71, and ReMinD, well, pushing in with this little slight tech swap as we see a quick, well, Staff of Preservation for the save here. ReMinD still holding on. The Keeper of the Grove wants to teleport back into this battle here. There is a handful of bears coming back here as the Demon Hunter now being forced to try and Staff of Teleportation away. He's going to try and shake off some damage. There's a Purge. More damage getting racked up. Are we going to get a Rejuvenation? Blade Master getting some damage onto that unit as we are looking at the Demon Hunter. Finally, no! Keeper of the Grove able to come across and come in with the save. ReMinD 60 over 80 supply. And now it's really going to come down to whether or not these Kodo Beasts are going to be free to digest. That's 12 supply, so the army sizes are about the same. Keeper of the Grove down to 282 hit points. Demon Hunter ready to get back into some action. We're looking at some damage onto the Blade Master. Blade Master finally uses the Invul Potion to shake. As we're looking at, well, the Wisp, are they perhaps going to get some detonations? Mountain Giant trying to push forward here. There's some stacking damage onto some of those Kodo Beasts. The Serpent Ward still representing large amounts of damage. ReMinD gets taken out. He loses the Keeper of the Grove off of a 285 critical strike. Does get a Druid of the Claw back, but this was not what he needed. ReMinD needed that battle to really go well for him. Instead, he still has 12 supplies sitting in the belly of the beast. These Kodo Beasts happy. They, well, left their stomachs empty for lunch as the Demon Hunter falls back again. All right, we should be looking at it in snare onto this Demon Hunter here. There's one in snare. There's going to be some damage. A follow-up in snare should be getting underway. There's a follow-up in snare, and ReMinD gonna lose that Demon Hunter and lose the game. Evasion making it difficult to predict when exactly that Demon Hunter was gonna fall, and ReMinD, although he tried to counter with a larger size army at the expansion, could not get over the fact that, well, 12 supply is currently sitting in the belly of the beast. Hungry Kodos taking the victory. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.